So what is, I mean, I think for a lot of us who aren't from Baltimore, right? Like our frame of reference for Baltimore is
The Wire.
That is correct.
If I had $1 for every time I heard that. Let me take a guess. Omar's your favorite character?
Rest in peace. Who was my favorite character on The Wire? I mean, Snoop was a fave.
Oh, Snoop is dope.
Snoop. There
Snoop,
it was.
yeah, it's there. To do. That's right. We know y'all love it. It's cool.
We do. We
know.
We do. But Baltimore, I think for a lot of people has just been known as that vision. How far would you say Baltimore is now from that vision that so many of us have?
Well, so listen, the truth is that the reason why we all hate that show, right, is that that's very much a part of Baltimore's history. But Baltimore is also the place where Thurgood Marshall comes from.
Yeah.
Right? Frederick Douglass was in Baltimore, right? Elijah Cummings was in Baltimore. We're the city of first. When you think about where the NAACP is, right? When you think about the folks there, Miss Jackson, all of these folks came from Baltimore. And then there are folks like me. When you look at how other cities have been depicted, right? Where we are now, right? And when most cities around the country, you're hearing oh, crime is up in all these Democratic-led cities. Mm-hmm. You don't hear them talking about us anymore.
Tell me about that, because I know that was a very
So the big thing, right?
Purposeful initiative.
As you and I are talking, we're seeing a 20% reduction in homicides, a 10% reduction in non-fatal shootings, and that's despite having a mass shooting where 28 people were shot at one time, which was insane. But it's about all of the things, right? You still have some folks who believe that the only solution to reducing violence is you have to have a police officer everywhere, and that'll make it safe.
They're violent.
If that was the case, Baltimore would have been the safest city in America for a long, long time.
Right.
Because they've
been everywhere.
They were everywhere, right? And now what you have to have is the evolution of people's thought, right? There's a role for them, but also there's all these other things that matter.
I want to start with a question because you talk a lot and I need to get something in.
You go ahead, do your thing.
So
this is your show.
It is. But no, because what happens in these conversations is politicians politic. Y'all are very used to I have to get everything out because I need y'all to hear everything because this is going to go somewhere and it's going to follow. And I completely respect that.
Chief of Staff's on paint.
Right. Hey, Marvin. Hallelujah. But when you say that the police do serve a purpose, what is the purpose that you believe policing should serve?
Yeah, I think when you think about policing in America, right? This is coming from someone, I used to lead the largest anti-violence movement, co-lead it in the city, right? 300 Men March with me. And it started out as 1,000 and then it went to 300. It ended up being 30 brothers, Black men mainly, would go out and we would intervene in neighborhoods. We would be out there 9, 10, 1, 2 in the morning, wherever the data said it needed us to be, we would be out in those neighborhoods trying to prevent those things from happening.
Why did the number diminish?
Because I told men that they had to give up every Friday night in the summertime. That's why. Some people fell off because they needed to go to the club.
I was going to say Friday nights are good for Henny.
If they wanted to go to the club. Now, this is about the most important thing. It's keeping us alive, right?
Right.
Through that and through the work, as Baltimore, we have one of the largest investments into community violence intervention. Actually spending $50 million of the ARPA money that President Biden and Vice President Harris gave to me on building that ecosystem. So we have Safe Streets. Safe Streets is where we pay folks that used to be killers, right? Used to be in the game to go out and stop other people from doing the same thing, right? So it works. We know that it works. But and we also have a deep partnership with brothers from We Are Us, who are many members from the Nation of Islam and some of our Christian brothers who have got together to form a group. Even those folks, right, from the Nation and others who are out there, and folks like me who are out there, we're like, hold on, there are certain things that we can't even do. When you think about the policing part for me, and this is how we focus them, we're never going back to the days where, oh my God, someone was shooting heroin out here. We're going to go arrest that person. That person is sick. They're not inherently criminal.
Right. If they're not,
that was idiotic.
Shooting somebody while
if they're not shooting
heroin.
Somebody, this is stupid, right? We're not doing that. We're not going back to breathing while black, right? But there are things, for example, and this was a big shift for us. We're a city where you and I are talking, we've seized 2,100 illegal firearms this year alone, right? Over 60% of them come from other states. They mostly come from red states, by the way.
How do you know where a gun came from? The serial number, that's it?
Well, they get traced by the ATF, and that's all I can say without getting into further trouble. But you'll see news about that in the future. But we know where they come from because our partners in the federal government traced them, right?
Got you.
They come from other states, most of them, right?
And they come from
Baltimore.
Usually
you saw the wire.
Red states.
The
only murder I've ever seen was in Baltimore.
Yeah. You know that Dookie,
like in real life.
Dookie from the wire, right? Can't get to East Baltimore from West Baltimore. He sure as hell didn't go to West Virginia or Ohio or Georgia to buy that gun that he has in his hand, right?
Right.
So for me, what we're focusing our police on, one, guns. Where the guns are coming from. Not just with the same premise that they used to do with drugs, right? Like, oh, they arrest somebody selling weed out in the corner, which, now is a
But they're not the plug. Who's the plug?
That's the point. But what did they do then, Amanda? They would work that person up the chain.
Of course.
But they never did that for guns. Now we're starting to make those trafficking cases like, hey, where they're actually coming from. Who's trafficking them? Who's buying them?
The same people that are selling them to other countries.
I got you. But it just,
I'm having epiphanies.
It's a novel thing, right? Then we do have some folks who they want to hurt people, but it's so few of them. And instead of living in this world where everybody black in West Baltimore is a criminal, which is what they did when I was a kid, right? Mm-hmm. There's a small group. And we have what we call the focused deterrence or group violence reduction strategy.
Okay.
Where what we do is we went out, did all the academic work. We identified exactly who these people are, right? Mm-hmm. And then they actually get first a letter from me that basically says, yo, I know who you are. I want you to stay alive. We have all these resources for you to be able to do that. If you need housing, mental health, substance abuse, whatever you need, job training, a job, whatever you need to do, relocation, we'll do it. But if you don't, and you continue out here harming people, I got to get you out of here. That's what we got to do. And a lot of folks take us up on that. They like, all right.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
I was about to say, who?
I'm out. Because people inherently, folks think about, and as someone who grew up around a lot of street dudes, right? And OGs who are now who told me and my friends yo, we gonna make sure y'all good because what we doing ain't it.
But isn't there something to be said for the fact that a lot of cats end up in these crime spaces because of lack of access to industry, right? Lack
industry
of access
resources,
to resources, et cetera.
At the back end of when I start off when we begin. Mm-hmm. The back end of purposeful disinvestment, purposeful breakdown of systems, but we know, right? We know that's what happened. And that's why we're going at it in that approach. Like, yo, look, I know I lived this out just like you did, right? And it's hard to have that conversation with some people because I always had this conversation like, look, if some of our folks think that black people run a drug game, I'm like, look, I got a moon to sell you too. Like, it's not happening. At best, you're going to be a Walmart district manager. That's it. That's it. Most of y'all are going to be greeters at Walmart. Basically, all you're doing all day is standing and saying, welcome to Walmart.
Corner boys.
Right? Yeah, that's all it is. Mm-hmm. And now we just have to get to them in a different way. But most people don't want to live like that.
All right, so y'all know how it works. We're going to go to the Patreon to answer some questions. A little bonus section with the mayor. Right here. Okay, the people have spoken. Uh-oh. So if you want to hear what the people are saying and what he got to say to the people, head on over to theamandaverse.com.
AFRAM is one of the largest free African-American festivals in the country. It's held on Juneteenth weekend every year in Druid Hill Park in Baltimore. This year we had 300,000 people in a park celebrating with the Isleys and some other good musicians that we always have.
All right. I did not know, but that's why
Come to AFRAM this year. I got you.
Oh, I know the right people.